Look at us, two amazing individuals sitting right here.
Look at that. How diddly doodly there, Tom.
Great to have you back. Thank you for your service going out and doing that. And happy Veterans Day to all of you out there who serve in
Yes,
the Army.
Tom, as a veteran, thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day.
Thank you. Thank you for doing your recent work for families and employees and those affected by the UPS plane.
Yeah, I missed our podcast last week. I went out and tried to help some folks that were affected by that tragedy. So spent some time out there. It got cold. Every time I go
Mm.
out to one of these critical incident things, it gets cold. So I bring the bad weather with me, which
Yep.
is why I should just stay in Florida. I mean, that's what I'm learning from all of this. But the good news is I've, had to travel and fly and do all that, and I had zero problems. TSA was a breeze, no flights delayed, no flights canceled. So there was not
Fantastic.
mayhem in the airports. I was starting to think it was a little overhyped. I know a lot of people were affected, but
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, all right. So some changes have been made and the government's back in full swing, huh?
yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
we could probably talk about that for the next seven shows. But
right.
but let's talk about quotes,
Ooh.
inspiring messages, things that maybe you heard a while back that tend to stick with you, and you pull that up from time to time. That's something that's in your toolbox, and you need to pull it out. And you need to utilize that to get through a difficult situation, to remind yourself of what's important, maybe
Hmm.
even a compelling reason for why you're doing the things that you're doing, especially those more difficult things or the things that are routine and mundane that are boring. It's good to
Hmm.
have some little quotes to kind of pull out, and we rip these off, of course, all the time. And sometimes we even give credit to whomever said them, and sometimes we forget about it, and we've got to go Google it. Gotta go, or you gotta go chat
Sometimes they're
GPT.
movie quotes, and sometimes they're not.
Absolutely. Especially
That
men tend to live their lives like,
right.
and communicate through movie quotes. And those quotes tend to like stick with you and offer some guidance, support, introspection, motivation, or actually, we don't like that word motivation. So let's um, choose a different word for that. I don't know, impetus, desire, um, things that inspire you. Yeah. Anyway, quotes.
Quotes. So the quote that sticks with me that I use a lot, and that I use with the people I work with a lot, probably the most quoted phrase I use, and it's my favorite quote, is by Maya Angelou, the poet, author,
Mhm.
really great person, by Maya Angelou. And she said, and I quote, "When people tell you who they are, believe them." End quote.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a good one.
I love that, because people tell us who they are all the time. And it's not always verbally, right?
Mm.
It's not, sometimes their actions are in stark contrast to what their words are saying.
Yeah,
But everybody tells you who they are by their words, by their actions, by their
mhm,
inactions, and by the things they don't say.
right.
But everyone tells you exactly who they are. And what we struggle with as people, myself and everybody included, is we don't want to believe that. We want to believe the best in people. We have a picture. People make a first impression with us, and we
Yep.
paint a picture of who people are. And sometimes we don't want to accept that maybe our first impression was wrong, or
Hmm.
that maybe people have changed over time, or maybe things have evolved. So when people come to me and tell me I'm having an issue in my relationship, I'm having an issue with my boss, I'm having an issue with whomever, and I say, well, tell me about it.
Hmm.
And they tell me these stories, and I'm like, well, they're telling you exactly who they are. It's yeah, and it's not just a one situation thing. Excuse me, it's consistent over time. Like, this person's telling you exactly who you are. Why don't you believe them?
Hmm.
You don't, let's talk about that.
Mhm.
Why don't you believe them?
So how many times do we have a gut reaction about somebody based
Mhm.
on their words, based on their actions, or like you said, their inaction, and we overlook it and we hope and pray that maybe things will be different. Maybe if I just loved them enough, Brett,
Mhm.
they will change.
Right.
Does it work? Does it
Okay.
ever work? People do have the capacity to change. It takes some
Absolutely.
work. I mean, there are
If people,
some.
if people didn't have the capacity to change, then we would be doing something different.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, for sure. Um, so if somebody tells you who they are, believe them until you start to see adaptations, until you start to see shifts in the things that they're saying and doing over a period of time. And
Mhm.
but there's just some fundamental personality traits, characteristics, ways of being that may not change. Then it may
Mhm.
no longer be a good fit for you in your life.
Mhm.
You
And
could
it's hard to make that realization that either people have changed, developed, evolved, or maybe you just had, maybe just had the wrong impression. I mean,
Yeah.
how many, and this has happened to me a lot. I mean, we as human beings make, when they say the first impression is the most important, it's absolutely true. We make an assessment in the first 7 seconds of meeting a person, and we size them up and we put a bunch of descriptors after their name in the
Hmm.
first 7 seconds. And that's not really fair to judge someone and their character and who they are in the first 7 seconds. So
Yeah.
how many, and I'm guilty of this too. I have had some poor first impressions with people I've met, and then over time they have really surprised me.
Hmm.
And I my first impression either was a bad first impression, or I was wrong, or something. But yeah.
Hmm. Because maybe they were just having an off day. Sometimes maybe we're having an off day.
Hmm.
Anything that could have gone wrong happened this morning before 8 a.m. by the time I got to you. And so now I'm in a state.
That was my yesterday, Tom. You would not even believe series of hurdles that were thrown in front of me yesterday. It was
Mm.
one of them days, and it was a long day from noon to midnight last night. And yeah, it was interesting. I went to bed. I'm laying in bed. I took a shower, went laid in bed and went, "You got to be kidding me!" This is one thing after the next. But anyway,
Like,
but
really?
just a minor inconvenience. I had a good night's sleep, woke up, and giddy up. Here we go.
You got through it. You survived.
Absolutely. It's a
Yeah.
minor inconvenience. That's our favorite motto. It's a minor inconvenience.
Yeah.
Hey, I woke up and I had a flat tire. It's just a minor inconvenience. You
Hmm.
know what? We will persevere.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, my car was not stolen or repossessed, or a jumbo jet didn't fall on it, or
Absolutely. So being grateful for the things that are going well, because there's still those, those are plentiful.
mhm.
But when things are going not the way that we want them to go, of course, it's hard for us to focus on those things. Like, yeah, yeah, whatever.
And it's funny because I got that quote from you. It's just a minor inconvenience. And how many times in my head that I heard you say yesterday, it's just a minor inconvenience.
You know how many times I say my best friend has a quote and he says it's just a minor inconvenience? I got it from you. I thought.
That I got it from you.
Who knows where it
You
comes
just
from then?
screamed it one day.
Fuck.
It's just a minor inconvenience.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's another great quote, and I use that all the time, mostly personally. I don't dish that one out a lot, but you know what? In the grand scheme of things, it's a minor inconvenience.
Right, because if you operate with that, that's a great mind hack. Really, if this is a minor inconvenience, what is that? I mean, that's just like, you know, I spilled a drop of coffee on my shirt. Okay,
Right.
that's a minor. Is it really a make or break, life or death type of thing? No, you know.
Right.
So if
Right.
you, I'm 5 minutes later to where I was going.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
In the grand scheme of things, it's like it's a minor inconvenience.
Hmm.
So to
And
get
you're
bent out of shape because people are cutting you off and you're getting hit by every red light, like,
right.
and the train came, like, so.
Uh-huh. You know, and it is a mind hack, neurolinguistically, you're telling yourself how to feel, right? It's just a minor inconvenience, even though like you really want to be jumping, jumping, going, what in the heck? I don't have time for this today. But
Yeah.
and so once you just start to lose it and get angry and upset, and I don't have time for this today, and this is just crap, blah, 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 blah. So now you're down that path, right? You
Hmm.
have just told your brain where you're going with that.
Yep.
And opposite, neurolinguistically, it's a minor inconvenience. You're telling your brain, we can handle this. It's no big deal. Let's just persevere and press on.
We've dealt with way worse.
Absolutely.
Way worser.
Way worser,
Way
for
worser.
sure. Hmm.
One of the quotes that I really like that has stuck with me is from Carl Jung, and it says, or he says, "What we resist persists."
Hmm.
Something along. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is. But the things that we are avoiding, we're trying to go around. We're trying to find a different way. I mean, however the phrase was, Marcus Aurelius, wrote that, essentially the obstacle is the way, that we have
Right.
to battle through it. We have to face our fears, those things that you don't want to do. They're going to keep coming back, keep coming back. If you don't learn the lesson the first time, you're going to have many other opportunities to learn that lesson until you
Hmm.
finally do learn it, until you finally do tackle that thing. So the things that you're worried about, that you're avoiding, that you don't want to have to deal with, all those same fears that you've had for years and years and years, run towards them, man. Go do
Right.
them. And then they cease to be things you're trying to avoid.
Hmm. You're giving it more energy than it deserves,
Hmm.
right? By avoiding it, you're putting energy in that. You're specifically avoiding that situation or that issue because you don't know the outcome, you don't know what's going to happen, but you're giving it energy, and it becomes a thing when it didn't have to be a thing.
Yeah. Have you ever had something that you're avoiding doing, that you're procrastinating about, and you put it off, put it off, put it off? Doesn't that thing loom in the back of your mind
Hmm.
continuously?
Hmm.
What a
And
bunch
it's
of wasted
usually
energy.
it's once you finish it, it's really not that big a deal to begin with. You're like, why did I avoid this for? My
Yeah.
thing is some of these phone calls that are going to take 2 hours, right? You got to
Yeah.
get through the operator tree and the this and the that and the like insurance and some of this other stuff. And I avoid them. And I don't avoid them. I put them off a little bit because it's just like, ugh, I do not want to spend 2 hours operator 0000,
Right.
that kind of stuff. And then most of the time you get through it and it's no big deal. And you find some very helpful people. You treat people how you want to be treated, you respectfully. Thank you for your time. I thank you for your assistance. And you get your stuff resolved. And I'm like, why
Yep.
did I put that off?
Because I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
But you've been thinking about it nonstop for the past
right.
2 weeks.
Exactly. You put more time and energy into avoiding it than you have if you actually just did it.
Isn't that funny how we do that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What? So here's a good question. What are y'all avoiding out there? What are the things that you have put to the side because you're not ready to tackle it?
Yeah. And take the next step.
Hmm. All
Go
right.
tackle that thing. Go do
All
it.
right.
Stop
Yeah.
avoiding it.
Uh-huh. What can you do that'll get you one step closer? I'll
Yep.
assemble all the information that I need, to make that phone call or whatever. My number two son has been avoiding getting his plates transferred. He
Mm.
moved to a different state, and it's
Mhm.
just a whole process.
Yeah.
And he needed 37 documents and then, all kinds of stuff. And
Right.
he's avoiding it and regretting it and this and lamenting. And he went once and he didn't have all the things that he needed. And so he's just,
Mhm.
whatever. So
Yeah.
he went and he was avoiding it. And he called me and he's like, get bail money ready in case I lose my crap and, whatever, all that stuff.
Mhm.
And then, I'm like, let me know how it goes. Just got to do it. And
Mhm.
like 45 minutes later, I get a picture of him with his new plate. And he's like, "Oh yeah, that was really easy. They were very nice." And I'm like,
You avoided doing that thing,
"Yeah,
and it was
avoided the
easier than you
thing."
thought. Yeah.
Mhm. Piece of cake.
So what's another inspiring quote, phrase, concept that has been one that you go back to again and again?
Hmm. You know the oh I yeah. Here's the one that I use a lot, and this was I learned this a long time ago um from someone. And the quote is, "What pains thee in others and thy own self lies." So the things that bug you
Mm.
about somebody else, take a look at that.
They're in you, yeah.
They're in you,
Yep.
right? I think that's actually a Shakespeare, if I'm
That's
correct.
very Jungian too.
Yeah, that's a Jungian. Yeah, I think it's Shakespeare though. I could be wrong with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, what pains thee in others and thy own self lies.
Mhm.
So take a look at that. Is there a characteristic in somebody that really bugs you? And
Mhm.
why does it bug you? Hmm. Or is there someone that just kind of irritates you? And why is that? What's going on there?
Sure.
Do you harbor some of those things yourself?
Something was triggered inside.
Yeah.
Mhm. So take a good hard look at that. It's worth your time and energy to do that.
And that whole word triggered, people use it. I hear more triggered. That and trauma bonding. I'm so sick of the dang phrase trauma bonding.
Mhm.
Anyway, let's
Yeah.
triggered. Triggered is like I think of it as like your check engine light in your car, right?
Yeah.
It's just giving you a warning, like
Right.
something is amiss. It's not telling you
Yeah.
exactly what it is,
Right.
but it's like, hey, something's going on here. I need to pay attention.
Yeah. Yep. I think a challenge for me because okay, we get triggered. I mean, trigger is causing an action. It's causing maybe a physiological response or causing a
Mhm.
thought or a memory to come up. Whatever. That something occurred. Maybe we know what it is. Maybe we don't know. But anyway, you're triggered. I think the challenge for me is the expectation that because I or whomever is triggered, that um, the expectation is that there's a response that needs to happen from others. That others need to be aware of that. Others need to hold the space for that. Others need to um, be okay with the fact that you were triggered, where they don't. You were
Mhm.
triggered, you have to figure out what to do about it. Now, are there those, maybe a therapist, maybe other people who are, empathic or compassionate, maybe they will hold the space and be like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry that you were triggered. Hey, let's work through it." But for the most part, people don't really need to do anything just because you were triggered.
Right. hmm And most people will just say I was triggered, and then they're off and about on their day, like it is
Yeah.
an excuse to have.
Right.
And your body gives you these triggers for a specific reason, and it is to pay attention. It's the
Yeah.
warning light. Hey, what just happened? Well, so when you feel triggered, what just happened?
Mhm.
What set what gave me the alarm? And then why is that? Why did my ears like perk up as soon as somebody said trauma bonding?
Right. Right. Right.
Kinds of things. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of the challenges is that there's an expectation that everybody needs to modify
yeah,
their day, their communication, their
right,
tactics in order to,
right.
to
Oh, and
get
I love when they say, "Yeah, I told so and so don't do that. It triggers me."
You're right. Like
No, it's not
exactly.
about
Yeah.
them.
To the
Yeah,
point. Yeah.
all right. That trigger means that you got something you got to work on. Spill it.
Hmm.
Let's go. Tell me
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, exactly. Here's another one that I really like.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Go.
I don't know who it's from, so my
All right.
apologies. If you out there know where this is from, please let me know. I can't remember where I heard it. Who knows? Maybe it was on social media post somewhere. Um, but I like it, and I've been using it for myself. One day or day one, you decide.
Mhm. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. One day or day one, you
Yeah.
decide. Ooh.
Because I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. And how many of you out there have said, you know what, at some point, one day I will be do start something, whatever that thing is. But right now it's not the moon and stars aren't aligned, things aren't exactly how they need to be. I don't have all the resources. I don't have the money. I don't have the time to do that thing. So one day I'll do that. Or today could be the day that you do something towards that.
Hmm. Oh, dang, I love that one.
Yeah. I
I'm
used
gonna
to be a
sew that
big
into a
runner,
sampler.
right? I gotta find where that is. I could probably just put that into ChatGPT and say, who said
Yeah, of
this, right?
course.
Anyway.
Now you're gonna
Um,
watch. It's gonna pop up somebody that you're not a big fan of,
yeah.
like the V Shred guy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Right. That guy's been popping in all the time, man. Yeah. Um,
No.
um, the one of a uh a good friend of mine just moved into the neighborhood. We were talking. He was like, "Oh, I just moved," and I was like, "Oh, cool. Where'd you go?" And he said where he was, and I was like, "That's like a couple houses down from where I am." And he wants to get back into running, and I was like, "I kind of want to get back into running too." And so we're gonna go do that. Of course, like between the two of us, hey, you want to do it tomorrow? No, something came up, and he's got to get to work early, so it's got to be at 6:15,
Ooh.
right? So anyway, we've been putting it off, but I want to get a baseline, so I got out there, and that first day I was like, well, if he's gonna want me to run with him, we're gonna run together at 6:15. I gotta see what it's like to run at 6:15, to wake up and not have the usual morning routine that I'm accustomed to start the workout at 7:30. So let's see what this is like. And I got out there and it was that same one day or day one. And I was like, fuck it. Today's gonna be day one. And you know what? There was extra motivation that day because it was November 10th, and that's the Marine
Mm-hmm.
Corps birthday. I'm a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, there's no better day to do this then.
All
All
right.
right, here's day one. And I've been doing it every day since.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, and it's felt good, and I'm gonna stick to it. Now that I'm building that, that snowball, building, um, what's the word? What's the word? Momentum. That's it. Ah,
Mm-hmm.
huzzah! Building momentum. So,
Habits, not motivation. You're never going to be motivated to get up and run at 6:15, Tom. You might for a
no.
few days, you might be motivated, but
Yeah.
it's habits, not motivation. That's what we teach.
Hmm. And I mean, that first lap, it's only 2 miles. Like it's three
Right.
laps around the neighborhood, right? Like it's not huge. I mean, there was a time in my life when I was, 100 pounds lighter and I was putting in 40 to 50 miles per week. No
Mm-hmm.
joke. But yeah, I'm not there. I mean, that was
Mm-hmm.
20 years ago and a little longer than that. Shit, 25. Gosh, dog, where's the time going? 20 some odd years ago, and yeah, 100 pounds lighter. And but yeah, it's a little bit more challenging right now. So I mean, I had to David Goggins that shit, man, this morning. Get through that first lap.
All right. Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, love that that's a verb. Anyway, so yeah, day one or one day, you
Okay.
decide which one it's gonna be.
Hmm.
And
Well, those are some great quotes to live by. I mean, I use analogies in my life. I use metaphors. I mean, that's how I organize myself. That's how I think. That's how I learn by doing those things. So, what are some of the quotes that you use out there that you live by, that get you through, that remind you of the path and the pace that you want to go? We'd love to hear those quotes.
yeah,
So questions at therapyunzip.com. Send us your quotes. Tell us what the quote is and maybe why it's important to you.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Write that quote on a piece of paper and keep it in your pocket. Maybe you find a coin out there that you can keep in your pocket. They make a lot of coins these days, daily carry coins that could
Mhm.
have your, words, phrases, or something on them, quotes on them. I'm sure you can probably have one made that has a
Mhm.
empowering quote on there and keep it with you. Keep it so that, it's a reminder. Like and in addition to that, look at all you've been through already in your life. The
Mhm.
things you're facing, I'm sure at some point you had to endure, you suffered, you overcame, at least dealt with, survived at least something worse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let us know.
Tom,
Let us
always
know
a
what you think
pleasure.
about this. It's
You know,
inspiring quotes, quotes to live by.
the other quote, the other quote when you said something earlier that I just cannot get out of my head now was, I hope you had a hell of a piss there, Arnold.
And that's what we hope for you guys. We hope that you out there are having a hell of a piss.
Tom, good to see you as always.
Same. I hope that you have an amazing rest of today, a great weekend, and to all the listeners out there, with love and respect. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Please
Yeah,
send in your questions and comments and quotes that you really like that maybe you carry with you, and let us know what you want us to talk about moving forward. We're here for you guys and here for each other because we just enjoy it. So we're going to be here regardless, but well, we can help you along the way.
all righty.
All right. Take care.
All right.